Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast from me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 vs 1 on Sturzdorf. Yes, we continue to get 1 vs 1s. I do look out for 2 vs 2s, but so far there's nothing been really that piqued my interest, I fear, and of course I do sincerely apologize. But we shall be watching a 1 vs 1. We shall be watching the Americans taking on the fight for the 101st Airborne Division, holding out against a Kampfgruppe from the Wehrmacht under the command of WaffenSolpoulous. How that's supposed to be pronounced, I have keine Ahnung. But fighting for the Wehrmacht and fighting for some SS Kampfgruppe, we are going to be seeing a bit of a brutal fight right here. Engineers going up, securing the points. Barracks up, riflemen on the way. Pioneers moving up already here and here, so pretty aggressive move from WaffenSolpoulous. We'll just call him Waffen since I can pronounce that at least with confidence. But still, he's going here for the resources. He's ignoring everything close to his base. Of course, he might be hoping to connect it, but that is definitely a bit curious. And meanwhile, note that MMSR is on the other hand focusing on the right-hand side of the map as the fighting continues here. An area held during Operation Market Garden by United States paratroopers. Yes, indeed, not Normandy, not near the German border. I just figured I'd switch things up a bit. Of course, we just have to imagine that these are paratroopers somehow not quite looking like them. Yes, I know. No, he's actually going to send pioneers to connect this. I mean, this is a really curious play from WaffenSolpoulous. I've definitely not seen Sturzdorf being played like that. So definitely intriguing. I can't say yet if this course of this is any good, but it's definitely something, although at the same time he's rather ignoring all the lovely resources towards the right-hand side at the same time. So obviously I imagine that WaffenSolpoulous is doing this to actually apply some early pressure on MMSR. I think that's really the only reason, basically early pressure, and perhaps even threatening MMSR in some way. But that is, though, a bit of speculation. We are seeing an MG42 being sent up here to support the Kampfgruppen's efforts, and most of the fighting was largely done by different Kampfgruppen, and including one Panzer Brigade, but Market Garden was rather an example of what the German Kampfgruppe system really could pull off when things got tough. We are seeing Rifle advancing, we are seeing the MG42 setting up. Oh dear! He set it up the wrong way! He set it up the wrong way! Nicht gut, mein Herr. And definitely no schnapps for you tonight, Heinz. More up near there. And we do see the folks that suddenly find themselves outnumbered and outgunned and are quickly run off. So that was less good right there for Waffen. And immediately he loses the territory he put so much effort in rushing towards, which is definitely not good either. We are seeing Waffen quickly shifting over the pioneers to the right-hand side. And we're also seeing pretty quickly a jeep out for MMSR. Clearly wanting to keep an eye on Waffen and his movements. Definitely interesting. We're seeing another Volksgrenadier squad rushing out. This Waffen SS Kampfgruppe from the 10th SS Panzer Division Frundsberg. And we are seeing the MD42 setting up. Will it be able to... Well, no, it's apparently standing about. Apparently a bit unsure where to set up. Bit of a sad situation. Volksgrens pushing up. More Volksgrens moving in. Moving up there. We are seeing some pioneers keeping an eye on the engineers up there. Slow advance by Waffen. Slow advance. No attempt at securing the points over there. Definitely again slightly odd play from Waffen. And I imagine that MMSR is of course also a bit curious about it, since he's, of course, it's not clear what it is exactly what Waffen intends, and sometimes that can actually be a pretty good thing as well, because if your opponent's having a hard time figuring out what you're doing, that also usually means you can pull off some good punches if you play your cards right. Of course, we are seeing pushing up there. Rifle taking up position there. Volksgrenadier in the middle of everything. Need to be careful though. 4-6 MG42 setting up. Rifle though quickly getting out of the house before they come under intense fire. Nothing going on there. Could it be that Waffen is already taking up because he's not got a lot of troops out on the field at the moment? He's got 2 pioneer squads, 2 Volksgrens and an MG42. While his opponent already has 3 riflemen and a jeep out there. I mean, something's not quite right. And it looks like he is getting a unit there. MG42 setting up a bit further, watching over the Volksgrenadiers. One bites the dust. He could consider laying down some sandbags. Volksgrenadiers pushing up, rifle in the middle of the road. And Rifleman looks like they are going to be trying a deep flank on the Volksgunners. We're just going for the munitions over there. It seems a bit unclear. Jeep moves up. Needs to be careful. Pioneers hanging out in the base. Waffen's efforts seems a bit cursed. Most of the map already in the hands of the Americans. Definitely not a good start for the Wehrmacht. Definitely not a good start. And there we go. Raffen going for the munitions up there, coming under fire from the MG42. Volksgrenadiers of the Kampfgruppen hold out, but they are definitely getting increasingly pressured. Pioneers pushing in from the north. Raffen here very close to going down. Oh, well, never mind. There we go. Pioneers also pushing in now. Exposing the Waffens. Quite a bit of fire, in fact. Oh, Pioneer pops down, but they quickly get into the house. Oh, Pioneer squad went down for Waffen and the Kampfgruppe. Waffen pushing up there, but they are taking losses. And we are seeing a sniper out for Waffen. Needs to be careful. Jeep went down. Could have been a Panzerfaust. I did not notice. That could mean that Waffen is actually taking up pretty quickly. We're seeing a 2 Volksgunners MG sniper start, then already taking away. Waffen and his Kampfgruppe is definitely getting further pressured. But looks like they are able to hold out. But never mind, then they actually end up getting pushed away. Pioneers still remain on there. Again, map control largely going into the hands of MMSR. He could also consider some mines already. Flamethrowers being equipped. Again, the territory here that he's so rushed for is definitely not remaining in his hands for very long. And there we go. Sniper firing away. Getting as many Americans as he can possibly get. With his scoped Gewehr 43. And there we go. Another rifleman bites the dust. And we're also seeing a weapon support that are quickly going up from MMSR. Going to likely get a counter sniper to deal with the German one. And we are seeing a third squad of Volksgunners out for Waffen, so clearly he's planning something slightly different, perhaps more aggressive tier 1, at least initially, to sort of get the pressure on the Americans. Oh, 2 mines in a row right there. That can work. It can also backfire if someone decides to retreat right through there, so a bit more iffy. He might have one to consider actually echelonning them. That is, one here, then perhaps one here or here, not on a straight line as such. Just a suggestion. But we are seeing engineers going to move out against the Volksgunners right here again, trying to get the resources there. Advancing on a slightly wider front, which could actually set them off for a nice counterattack by the Americans. If they strike at the right angle, they really could push off Waffen and his Kampfgruppe Truppen. Fuel falling there. Likely the high munitions will fall as well. Sniper and MG providing covering positions right here. Watching over the main road from any American advances up there, although the flank right here will be quite exposed, and if MMSR was to push in there, he could actually do quite a bit of damage. And there we go, the Volksgunners actually spread out. They're not necessarily in the best conditions, so this could actually also end up a bit poorly for Waffen. He's playing a rather high stakes game, and already there several Volksgunners bite the dust as they get shot, and like we will see, yes, a squad went down. Of course, a medic bunker would have been a nice choice. Now we're just down to 1 squad of Volksgunners, which is currently going to get assaulted by most of MMSR's forces. So he's definitely going in for one hell of a punch. And there we go, we see a full retreat from him, and we see another squad of Volksgunners then out for Waffen. So quick to replace him. And will replace any losses. And again, he needs to be careful, and again, a medic bunker might be a considerable idea. Volksgunners moving up. And a small engagement right here. The riflemen are quick to pull up into heavy cover. Further fighting though, but fighting continues to persist on the right flank. I was about to say, but clearly I failed until this very moment. Pushing up there, of course, going for the high resources, going to keep them out of the hands of Waffen. Is certainly doing well. And we're seeing blitzkrieg, we're seeing assault grenades out here on the riflemen and the engineers. Doing quite a bit of damage there to riflemen, wounding them heavily. Heavily, ladies and gentlemen, although now the Volksgunners are going to get dealt with by the riflemen and engineers. Already so Volksgunners burst into flames. Fighting continues up here, flamethrower engineers going in. Sniper though sniping away. MG though gets pushed away. Sniper gets an engineer. Mines go off and right there. Oh, he got the MG42. MMSR's double mining actually worked out very nicely right there. So my worries in this case were quite unfounded, but you can have cases where they retreat and then nothing happens. And looks like an engineer squad went down, likely some flamethrower engineers in fact, so a small victory right there for Waffen, but he's actually taking considerable casualties. And we're actually seeing a rush for the Sturm Armory. God in him, he seems to be going really heavy in, all in, going for the bigger guns. We might see Stuks, we might see armored cars. Who knows? Waffen firing away. Volksgunners moving in from several angles, and another assault. Oh, that's 50 wasted munitions right there. Since the ability will go on no matter what, even if the squad retreats, so that was just 50 munitions out of the window right there. Bit unfortunate. And we are seeing stormtroopers now being prepared. He's down to 3 Volksgunners, snipers, and some pioneers. We're seeing armored cars on the way, but this is definitely not looking bright so far for the Wehrmacht. Lots of heavy losses. Although that's not to say MMSR's not taking a beating himself, but it's been nowhere near what Waffen and his Kampfgruppe has suffered so far. We're seeing an American sniper sneaking about. And likely we'll see an armored car rolling out soon. And apparently Waffen is suspecting a Sherman coming. Largely due probably to the fact that he's seen no upgrades. And of course I can just briefly pause and explain it, of course, because there's actually a logic to it. Of course he's probably also trying to play with his opponent's mind, basically saying, oh, I know what you're up to. You don't fool me, American. But the point is, he's not seen any upgrades for the riflemen. Again, that's usually strike one. If you don't see any upgrades for the riflemen, they're usually going for something bigger. In this case, armoured cars tend to be the case, but he's not seen any armoured cars, and usually about this point, the 10 to 11 minute point, you would see any armoured cars. He's not seen that, and of course he knows his opponent's been holding the high fuel point for quite a bit, so for him, the logical, of course, result is he's likely going to go for his Shermans. Of course, his response is a Sturmgeschütz called in, likely from the 12th Fallschirmjäger Sturmgeschütz Brigade. Yes, the Fallschirmjägers had their own assault guns. Fun fact, but I mean, that's basically the logic of it, and again, it's also usually not a bad one to imagine. Again, if you're not seeing anything for the infantry, if you're not seeing any lighter vehicles, you're likely going to see the heavier stuff. Of course, you can also, as an American player, subvert this, and of course, then later on suddenly go, alright, I'll just go heavily on the infantry or something like that, and completely throw off your opponent. So there's something there to consider while playing as the Wehrmacht. Of course, there's also some things that sort of work the other way while you're, for example, playing against the Americans. Again, if you're not seeing anything for the infantry in terms of, veterans and all that, again, you can likely expect he's going for something bigger. We are seeing now then a Stug on the way. A huge mix for this Kampfgruppe of Luftwaffe equipment, SS, and possibly some hair. And there we go, the Stug rolling out. He could call in some stormtroopers right now. Volksgrenadier down. Most of the infantry so far focusing up here. He could consider pulling them into the house right there. They do have a decent amount of windows right here, which could provide a decent defensive position. But Stug is bereit. And there we go, we do see stormtroopers marching out for Waffen. We are seeing MMSR holding up here. He definitely wants to throw away the Germans from the area, but he's being a bit cautious as well, because he does know that Waffen does have blitz grenades. Sniper here, covered by the Stug. Might be an issue again, have the full scale support by others. And there we go. Looks like MMSR is pushing in. We are, though, not seeing stormtroopers move out. They are going up to support the Stug. He could upgrade the action with the assault weapon. No. Blitz grenade, and we're seeing a grenade against the Volksgrenadiers. One man down, rather than getting grenaded right there. Some stunned, some wounded. Volksgrenadiers moving in from the other angle. Getting off a nice position right there. Several riflemen go down, and we do see that MMSR's assault on the railroad embankment by the barrel factory did fail. Pioneers here under fire. Stormtroopers continuing up here, supported by the Stug. The sniper seems to have been shot in the face. Did he hit a mine? Either way, he seems to have vanished off the face of the earth. Armored car then following up for Waffen. So that should be fun. But clearly this sniper did not get a kill. So the question is MMSR aware that he got Waffen's sniper? Because he seems to be playing him as though there's still another sniper about. Not very aggressively. That would definitely be interesting if that's the case for MMSR, that he's simply worried, oh no, my opponent still has a sniper about. I can't do much with my sniper because I want to counter sniper, and thus he ends up actually wasting the sniper. That would be a bit tragic. A bit tragic. Volksgrenadier joining up with the riflemen, and we are seeing the armored car going to move in from the other side. That's going to do well. That's going to do well. Volksgrenadier is fighting, and another blitzkrieg grenade assault. I'm not convinced he always needs to do it. But in this case, it actually pays off for the grenade. Oh, doesn't do much. Armored car quickly pulls in. Volksgrenadier squad a bit on its own, and Waffen does seem to have a slight tendency of suspecting or expecting more of them. That might be reasonable. Which is he's expecting apparently stormtroopers out of them. And the stormtroopers all the way over here. Moving for the territory.
The Reich has its fuel now.
The Reich has its fuel now. Yes, indeed. And a second Sturmgeschütz on the way for Waffen and his Kampfgruppe. Now supported by armored cars from likely the 10th SS Armored Reconnaissance Battalion, or what remained of it, after Market Garden. Although certainly it was more in a better condition than the Panzer Battalion, which likely had only a few panzers, whereas other elements could still fight much better.
Yes, sir.
And we are seeing a Kampfgruppe sent up. We're seeing veterans, see, for the infantry on the way. Stormtroopers here dealing with engineers, and Stormtroopers, by the way, are one of the most toughest infantry units in the game. In particular, as you give them more veterancy, they can really be some tough bastards. Engineers here, they're coming under fire from the Stormtroopers. One bites dust. Second Stug up for Waffen. Armor cowling up here, although we do see airborne for MMSR and the 101st. And fires away, getting off a great hit on the armor car right there, doing quite a bit of damage. Volsko's following up though. Might try counter-attack. Stormtrooper here coming under fire. No sniper nearby, so there's rifleman. Volsko's also bite the dust. Stugs could move up and open up, but then fire and support on the rifleman there. Volsko's squads not doing too well. Apparently only send them in piecemeal, which is definitely not the way to use them. Again, Waffen doesn't seem to quite fully know how to employ his Volksgrenadiers. Armored car moving over to the left. Most of the map still in the hands of MMSR largely. And again, Waffen seems to have a problem attacking and projecting his forces on a larger scale.
Yes, sir.
And what seems to be going on here?
Losing ground.
I think he's actually taking advantage of the fact that MMSR actually moved all of his forces towards the right-hand side. And he's going for a base assault. Waffen is actually launching an all-out assault on MMSR's base. Now that's definitely interesting. Both assault guns sighting the weapon support center, blasting away with the 75mm Stug, that is Sturmkanone, crushing through the small wall, which by the way would not have been a threat for infantry since they could have waltzed over it in company of Here's 2.
Americans are seizing territory.
Weapon support center here getting blasted into bits. And we are seeing that MMSR is now rushing back. We're also seeing some Volskos launching a counterattack up north again. Have them work together. Volksgrenadiers are infantry that best works when there's something else to work with. Stormtroopers following up in the assault right there. Taking advantage of the hole in the wall. Armor covering support. Though note, there's a slight problem here for MMSR. That is, there's nothing here to protect their rear. In this case, MMSR could try and basically just move up here and block off the path of retreat. And we're seeing another anti-tank being dropped in, and I think also airborne infantry. And he's actually springing a trap. Oh dear, again, Waffen did not quite fully think this up one, I think. Volsko's here fighting though, getting out surrounded by the Americans. Not looking too good there. Stu 42 moving about, and there we go. Anti-tank gun there, anti-tank gun there. This is definitely not a grand situation for Waffen at the moment. Stormtroopers are moving in against the anti-tank gun. Volsko's squad got wiped out. More assault rifles for the Stormtroopers. Tree Ascender could go down. And he might even try and get the multiple Stug here. Needs to get away. Getting fired at from the anti-tank gun. And there we go. Tree Ascender is down. Machine gun replacement is down. Weapon support center is down. But he's also taking considerable losses. In fact, he lost 2 Stormtroopers. Oh, Sniper could go down. Sniper. Oh, he got the Sniper. He got the Sniper. That definitely made this a bit more worthwhile. And we could see another Rifle Squad go down. Indeed, he lost the Rifle Squad. Fighting over here. Oh, a grenade did not do much. Stormtroopers continue to fight away. The Kampfgruppe having launched a successful assault. The 101st 2nd Battalion is definitely having a bit of trouble right here. Stug, though, went down, and he's trying to get that motor pool. Airborne popping in, and there we go. Motor pool is down. Motor pool. Rifleman squad. Again, another down. Sniper down. This is definitely turning out to be a brutal base assault. Usually, I mean, either one would have success or the other side, the attacker would get pummeled. But right here, it seems to be a bit of a mix, as so much is being lost on both sides. Although so far, there's only really been a Stug right there. Stug 42 up, but it's going straight for the anti-tank. I need to be careful. Armored car immobilized. Needs to fire up there against... No, it went down. It went down as well. It went down. Anti-tank and getting reinforced. And we are seeing Rifle moving up from the flank. Anti-tank and the crew just... as it gets the... Stu 42 as well. Heavy losses. Insane losses. A bit again a waste of Volksgrenadiers again. He needs to work on how to employ them, I think. And Stug here getting sticky bombed. Oh, he might lose the Stug as well. But definitely a nasty assault right here. He pretty much cleared up most of MMSR's space. Did a lot of damage. He got 2 rifleman squads and a sniper. And he lost the second Stug as well. And I mean, let's just look. He's got 4 squads. And looking over at MMSR, he's got 6 units. So, I mean, it's largely close to each other. And in fact, Waffen actually has more infantry since half of, or a large part of MMSR's forces currently anti-tank guns. So definitely a brutal engagement, although I think, again, for Waffen, he made some mistakes. He could have possibly even have won it right here, but again, he probably should have sent all the full guns over to support to hold the rear of the assault clear of any anti-tank guns and infantry. In that sense, he might actually been able to then get out of the assault guns in one piece, even secure an anti-tank gun. So I definitely think that was not a fully thought out assault right there by Waffen. It could have been done better, it could have been supported better, and he could have done a lot more damage, but still, overall, he did quite well. But so did his opponent in doing damage to the attack and counter-attacking himself. Another assault against the airborne, where their M1 carbines getting stunned, getting wounded. The M1 carbine did not quite have as much stopping power as the M1 Garand. It was not really intended for that endeavor either, though. It was basically meant as sort of an alternative to a pistol, since they needed something that was less likely to the guy holding the weapon shooting himself in the foot. And pistols did have a bit of a tendency of that. So they went with the M1 carbine, which actually ended up being quite a popular self-defense weapon. But again, it was a bit lacking in stopping power and was not uncommon to shoot someone and then he had a tendency, you know, still fighting. Stormtroopers here though with 13 killed, 4 assault rifles. Really doing a lot of damage to MSR's troops. Another Stormtrooper squad. Really now the full veteran cadre of the Kampfgruppen SS troops moving in. Leaving less on the army troops that were sent in to support this Kampfgruppe. And certainly during the whole fighting in Market Garden, there was definitely a lot of mix-up between army, Luftwaffe and SS troops fighting together. And more stormtroopers arriving. This is definitely rare. I mean, usually you only see 1 or 2 stormtrooper squads, and usually heavily equipped with Panzerschrecks, but in this case we're actually seeing 3 stormtrooper squads so far. And the thing is, again, what most people forget is stormtroopers, again, they are very durable infantry. They have some of the most health in the game, and throw in some elite armor, and for that match, veterans 3, and they really become tough bastards. So definitely interesting fighting going on here. Anti-tank guns holding up. MMSR with BARs now. Another Trieste, of course, to replace the one lost, which is, of course, also currently ensuring that his troops can't heal, making them further easier targets for Waffen's troops. Airborne here taking a hit, although also note they've actually already gotten veterans in 1, so they're actually slightly more nasty combat troops. But we are seeing a larger MMSR force being sent out again. Very low on health, very low on health. I mean, the stormtroopers right here could basically just take up position there and they could probably finish it off. Airborne here need to be careful. MMSR taking some nasty risks, which seem a bit unnecessary. And a strafing run. Air support. Oh, pins down the 2 squads. That doesn't do much damage in this case. And slight break, and there we go. Was a cat that wanted to be let out. And there we go. The depleted forces of MMSR again due to the Trieste Center being knocked out actually take some considerable losses. Some slightly longer term effects from that base assault, which actually end up in the favor of Waffen a bit. Nicely done. We also do see Veteran 2 now for the infantry. We also see Panzerreichs now being equipped. So clearly Waffen is still worried about any armor that might appear to destroy his day. Yes, Hans seems to be a bit angry.
Germans are seizing territory from us.
Another weapon support center going up for MMSR. Interesting, interesting. So again, he's all of a sudden being forced to expend a lot more resources again on buildings to get some of the stuff he again wanted.
We can airdrop resources now.
Now again, question is, was it worth 2 Stugs, an armored car, several Volksgrenadier escorts, and a Stu 42? I'm less convinced. They go off advancing, coming out a heavy fire for the stormtroopers, positioned up by the small copse of trees. At the same time, they're still pushing up their airborne, leading the way. Now Veteran 2 already. Impressively enough, stormtroopers under heavy fire from the riflemen. We might see some grenades be used to flush them out, although there are stormtroopers providing a flanking position nearby. Stormtroopers finally pushed off. Heavy fire from the Americans actually proved to be too much. Airborne, though, on the other hand, failed the assault in the west, and we're seeing additional Volksgrenadier squads coming out for Waffen, actually equipping them with MP40s. Fascinating. A very, very heavy infantry force coming out there from Waffen. And barely any support weapons, no further MGs, no mortars, and no mines. No further, not even a Nebelwerfer, or say some more Stu 42. It seems a bit odd, actually. And could actually prove to be detrimental, as it rather again creates a slightly, well, less steep force, which can in some cases be more easily run off if he's not careful.
Construction is done. Yes, sir.
Medic station up for MMSR to perhaps combat the heavy losses, work against attrition. That could definitely pay off. Definitely, it's actually time for the mid-game analysis. Counter-attrition MMSR has actually been thrown back after a series of violent assault, in particular against the base, followed up by a considerable influx of stormtroopers, actually causing him quite a headache. And I'm actually wondering, how many stormtroopers are we looking at? 3, 4, 5? There's quite a few anyways, and also an observation post up there, but MMSR needs to get back in the game. He needs to kill off some of the squads. He needs to hold out, and he definitely needs to fight a bit smarter. He needs to consider mining. Some 30 caliber machine guns could also prove to be a good idea to try and slow down the Germans' advance, or a mortar to make it more difficult. And the Sherman might also be a jolly good idea. For Waffen, on the other hand, he needs to keep up the pressure, and he needs to stop, wasting units in some considerably silly ideas he's definitely had throughout this match. If he can do that, I mean, he's very likely to actually be able to pull off a victory despite a not so good start and some... Again, the effects of the base assault are certainly panning out in his favour so far, but again, I still don't think it was worth losing all that which he lost. But let us return to the fight. Let us return to the fighting. MP40 Volks advancing, though quickly retreating against airborne appear. Veteran 2, more accurate and more harder to hit. And note, airborne have something similar to the elite armor of, for example, Veteran 2 stormtroopers or grenadiers for that matter, though with slight differences. Whereas grenadiers and stormtroopers, Veteran 2 overall harder to hit. The airborne only harder to hit when they move, but they still gain the damage reduction. Oh, mine went off in the middle of the road. Stormtroopers, though, just blitz through it and storm the airborne, actually sending them running away. Also stunning the nearby engineers a bit. And looks like a unit over here got absolutely overwhelmed, dropping a BAR, but looks like Waffen is not interested in picking up and further supplementing his own firepower. And we're seeing an assault going up there. Panzerreichs assault on the base, but a dual set of mines up here actually proved... Oh dear, he's actually shooting his own barracks with the anti-tank guns. Less good. Less good. Waffen finding out they could try and get off a grenade in the path of this huge assault. No, but a strafing run! Oh my God! So many troops absolutely violated. It's a massacre. Oh God. That was a excellent strafing run right there in the middle of the road. They came advancing in a huge force, and P-47 to the rescue. Good Lord. Definitely some fighting going on there. Pushing up the west flank. The Kampfgruppe is still holding on. More stormtroopers being sent in. Immer mehr SS Panzergrenadier. Vorwärts. Medics doing their best to pull in the wounded. The Volksgrenadiers doing their best to ensure the wounded don't get forward, but they're themselves getting cooked.
front lines are collapsing.
And so far, Waffen seems to be holding the entire map in a vice-like iron grip of Kruppsteel. More stormtroopers pushing forwards, others getting reinforced. Could be more on the way from the Sturm Army, apparently not. Supply drop. And again, I think I would like to see a 30 caliber or something being employed. And actually, we do see one set up right here. A 30 caliber Browning water-cooled machine gun. Basically World War I make. The Americans did not focus very heavily on their machine guns. That is what the Germans did. And the British, to a certain extent, I think. At least they like machine guns. I don't think they did so much with the heavies. Soviets basically followed the same pattern. They focused more on the rifles, less on the machine guns, which led them to still using, for example, the Maxim machine gun, which not even the British used in World War I, but had in fact been using before that. Plus some other older machine guns as well. So again, little fun fact there. And more stormtroopers over here. One squad cloaked. 22 kills. Again, fully equipped with assault rifles. Flamethrowers moving in. And they're going to get one hell of a surprise. And there we go. Definitely not work out for them. 30 caliber taking up position here. Going to be overwatching. A suggestion, though, would be to actually wire off some of the areas so the opponent can't reach it so easily. And also has to have some difficulty moving about it. And also, it might have been an idea for Waffen to actually salvage those assault guns from munitions. We are definitely seeing quite the assault force being gathered up here. Numerous squads of stormtroopers, several Volkskrieger squads, some with MP40s, the rest without. So, definitely out to do some damage. Engineers being pulled back by medics, but the stormtroopers seem very intent on ensuring that does not happen. It looks like the medics actually pull it off. They do rescue the wounded in this case. But more stormtroopers are pulling up. And they're veterans free now, which means they do have a considerable health bonus on top of their already considerable health. Their sheer will shall hold back the Americans. Volkskrieger and stormtroopers here. Another assault seems to be botching up around elsewhere. There we go. Actually, we're seeing two 30 calibers up. So MMSR is actually buffing up his defenses with 30 calibers, and he's actually able to start one part of the assault there quite nicely, although flank is still exposed. More engineers simply being dragged in, which is definitely not boding well for, well, MMSR's engineers, since he keeps on ending them up as casualties and then pressed into frontline service. But returning to Waffen, is actually getting prepared to call in a tiger, and he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squads of Volksgrenadiers and stormtroopers, I mean, not Volksgrenadiers. Would be one hell of a Volksgrenadier squad though, but 2 squads of Volksgrenadiers, 1 and a sniper. Definitely a very heavy infantry fighting force. And definitely something the 30 calibers can help a bit against, although again, the stormtroopers can just cloak and sneak up on them. Though again, barbed wire and mines can then help in that sense. Stormtroopers pushed away. Oh dear, again, be careful with the anti-tank guns, MMSR. You keep shooting your own stuff more than you shoot the enemy. And there we go, one stormtrooper squad getting stopped by the 30 caliber. Assault going up. Stormtroopers actually taking a bit of damage. They're trying to assault the airborne. 30 caliber getting away, thinking that might be that, but oh dear. There we go, stormtroopers actually pushed away by the 30 calibers. One closer going down, right from getting sniped. Volksgrenadiers in a bit of trouble, could get enough getting cut off. And Tankins might want to be a bit closer to the front line. Sniper very close, and an assault against the 30 caliber machine gun and his machine gun nest there in the administrative building. And Raven here getting caught up on several sides. Volkskrieger retreating, stormtroopers pushing forwards. An all-out assault by the Kampfgruppe. No supply upgrades actually for MMSR. That is a bit detrimental to his cause. Makes it harder for his riflemen to gain veterancy, and also ensures he is hit harder by supply upkeep costs. Another strafing round there does not do too much.
We are losing ground.
Another supply drop. Getting an armoured car. Interesting enough, he could be going for a Tiger tank, but he seems to be ignoring that for the time being. But an awful lot of stormtroopers. I don't think I've ever seen that many stormtroopers in a game, to be honest. So, definitely something American sniper. Oh, misses! There's still a 30 caliber here, up in a slightly more rearward position. Airborne moving up. Could try and get off a grenade. There we go. Fragmentation grenade locked at the American. Oh! Gets one Fultz Grenadier. And Sniper misses again. 30 caliber fires up, opens up the Fultz Grenadiers. Stormtroopers coming up in the flank. Full American assault going in here. Stormtroopers trying to hunt down the Sniper. They actually end up in front of the 30 caliber. Oh, spots. Oh! Good lord! The Sniper actually won out on that one, getting the German Sniper.
The Americans are capturing a sector.
That was tense. In the meanwhile, fighting on the right flank pushes away the Pioneers there. Troops continue to get out. And another MG-42 finally arrived for the German Stormtrooper squad here, pulling away. Sniper likely going to do what he can against the MG-42. Armored car pulling up. Rather than getting blasted, anti-tank guns need to be a bit further forwards. Both of them. Though again, he might be worried he can't protect in the case of the Germans' infantry pulling off a full assault. A Sturm, Sticky Bomb on the armored car, airborne doing what they can. 30 caliber holding up the flank, but Stormtroopers are advancing, and we are seeing full assault right there on the 30 caliber, doing quite a bit of damage, and we see the entire 30 caliber crew die in a series of brutal explosions.
Attention! The enemy advances.
MMSR continues to be a bit penned in, but he continues to fight. Also looks like he got one rifle squad reformed from all those wounded men that got wounded under his command. Whoops, my pardons. Raven squad holding up their Stormtroopers advancing, full assault. Standing though out in the open, that's a good idea in particular when you're with troops inside, but we are seeing assault and... oh, they're getting too close, too close. And there we go, we do see how MMSR quickly solves it, and here's another thing. Blitzkrieg assault again is very easy in some cases to dodge, and again cause the opponent to waste 50 missions. For example, getting out of a house, if you're in there and it's getting used against you, cancels it. Retreating, wastes it. I mean, there's a lot of methods actually to basically ensuring that those 50 missions come to naught. And that was definitely one of them. And interesting enough, if he just pulled off into the houses next to the building, he would probably have won this fight, but ultimately he instead stood out in the open, tried to assault, and he failed. Sniper that continues to kill, but needs to be careful. The MP40s could get him. Armor car getting repaired. More assault rifles. Also note he's getting the observation post, quite feeding him a lot of munitions. And there we go, Tiger arriving. 30 caliber guarding the flank here. Stormtroopers advancing up the flank. We're going to see an assault. Stormtroopers advancing up the center. Also coming under fire. Airborne firing up. Anti-tank gets nowhere to be seen. More 30 caliber action. Assault right there. So many assault grenades.
Losing a sector.
And once more the front collapses under the full fury of the Third Reich as the Stormtroopers propel themselves forward, and looks like he's going for another base assault. He's going in. Stormtroopers, he could send in the Tiger tank and everything else as well, although he might want to consider supporting it up with the 30 caliber to keep the Americans' heads down. But there we go, he's going for it again. Rather risky stuff. Sniper also firing away, I think. He might actually taking up position. Up, he's there. Treating. And there we go. The armored car went down. The anti-tanks have been doing their job. I think in this case that Waffen is getting a bit too greedy, a bit too bold. He might be throwing away a lot of his own fortune. There we go. Volker squad goes down. Stormtroopers push forwards. Taking losses. Tiger moves in, but there's going to be two anti-tank guns and airborne. And one of those anti-tank guns is going to be Veterancy 2. Tiger, though, blasts through the defending Americans. Of course, there's medic station nearby. So there's some of those wounded will be covered as well. Pioneers pushing in, stopped by the 30 caliber emplacement. 32 kills on the Stormtroopers. 32. 6 kills on the Tiger. It's already down to half health again. Slightly not well thought out there in this case. His Tiger could very well go down, and without having done a lot of damage, that would definitely be a tragic sight. And there, damn close to losing the entire Stormtrooper squad. But he is going to be losing the Tiger, and that is definitely a catastrophic loss right there for Waffen. And I imagine right there, MMSR completely like taking a deep breath out and like, ah, completely shocked that he apparently actually survived this, but again, he did. And Waffen has actually taken some brutal losses in the process, and again, not necessarily losses he can actually afford to take. In particular, not when he's lost a tiger like that. The effort was nice, but ultimately perhaps not worth it. Well, that's not to say his force is without capability of holding back the Americans, but he's definitely taking a beating. Airborne moving forwards.
Our forward supply lines are broken.
Very few victory points, by the way, left for Waffen. He's down to about 50 victory points. That's definitely not looking good for him. Anti-tank guns prepared. Riflemen reinforcing.
We have only 50
A few stormtroopers on their own. Not looking too good there. But the 101st refuses to give up. More moving out. Others reinforcing. And holding up a nice position here as well. And Veteran D2 on the sniper. Plucking away at the lives of stormtroopers. 30 caliber stops the advance of one squad fully. Sniper gets another kill. The assault definitely not doing too well. And there we go. Another blitz assault. Waffen not to be stopped. Several grenades straight on the MG crew. Veteran D3 anti-tank gun firing away as well. So many troops suppressed. We might have been seeing suppressive fire from the riflemen's BARs. Grenades could blow. And Veteran D3 for the airborne. That definitely also says something about the situation when they get Veteran D3, because then they also become rather nasty. I do believe they also gain the damage bonus of 50%. So those carbines suddenly become a lot more nasty. And Waffen feeling the pressure now, having conducted not one but two assaults on the base. Again, having taken some losses I think were not necessary. MG could also go down to Veteran D2 Rifle, and they did. And we're actually now seeing a tank depot going up for MMSR. He might finally be going for that Sherman that apparently Waffen could smell. Apparently he can smell the future. But apparently he could not smell what looks to be coming his own defeat. As he's now down to 30 victory points.
Krauts are grabbing our territory. The enemy is down to 25 points.
Work is done here. Jerry don't mind us dropping in.
And there we go. Tank depots up and also note so much fuel. So much fuel.
Germans are seizing territory from us.
Troops enforcing. Points being taken.
Ready. Airborne ready for action. Time to kill some Krauts. Objective secured. Rifle squad defending.
A bit of quiet. Stormtroopers do end up advancing a bit. And getting sniped.
Harder hit.
Another man sniped in the face. Sniper continues to be an utter bastard. Another blitz assault. In some cases, I think a bundle grenade works better. Like for example, when there's a huge clump of infantry just advancing, a bundle grenade can prove to be the better method. And there we go, just a huge infantry slug out. Infantry fighting in the building, infantry fighting outside the building. Grenades going off, stunning, wounding, murdering. 10 victory points left for Waffen. MMSR though holds on nicely, although in this case again, the simply huge wave of infantry proves too much. But we are seeing a Sherman soon out. A bit of armor has found its way through the 101st Infantry, and a strafing line just utterly wrecks up the assault as well. 30 caliber and now a Veteran D3 sniper. And there we go, they're just getting suppressed, murdered, sniped and whatnot. And there we go, the Sherman finally moves forwards. And there we go, Fulton squad completely wiped out. And the airborne definitely doing quite a bit of damage from the flanks as well.
Losing ground.
And the response is a Stu-42. Again, a bit too late. He should have been branching out. He falls a bit more again. And Nebelrev, I think, could have helped Waffen as well, even in the base assault. But again, that never quite happened. German advancing. Everything seems to be falling apart right there for Waffen and his Kampfgruppe.
Our fuel enemy unit taken by
And a unit went down the retreat. Stu-42 doing what he can, but quickly getting sticky bombed. Victory point in the center falling. And there is not a lot left for Waffen, although this is highly veteran Stormtroopers right there. Then we see GG called from MMSR. Feeling a bit confident there.
Objective secured. Rifle squad standing.
And GG from Waffen. Game over. Oh, Stu-42 got the sniper just before it went up in smoke. And there we go. Game over. A crushing blow to Waffen despite several times having the upper hand and then sort of throwing it away on base assault. Again, he did some damage in the first one. The second one was a lot more questionable, in particular due to the loss of the Tiger. And the lesson here is, be careful in attacking the opponent's base. Be sure, will I actually be getting something out of this? And again, will I be wasting a Tiger? Again, and also, I mean, this idea with a lot of Stormtroopers was nice, but he was lacking the support for it. He was lacking the sort of, again, something behind it. I mean, he rather was a lot of, back and forth, and ultimately had a bit of trouble holding the ground and also, supporting them versus different threats like the 30 calibers. And, here in the base assault, again, the snipers and everything else, had he had a few needle rovers to suppress the defenders, it might have worked out a lot better. But again, it was a rather more one-line force, and again, that rather bit him in the arse, whereas MMSR with riflemen, with 30 calibers, with airborne, with a lot more variety, was actually able to overcome this otherwise, impressive-looking force with veterans, free infantry, stormtroopers even, with lots of assault rifles, still riflemen with BARs, grenades, and, 30 calibers and all that can actually stop that. So, well played by MMSR, alright played by Waffen, but again, needs to work on his unit composition, a bit of unit depth, and how to, for example, also properly use Fult's grenadiers, but that also definitely seems to be a bit of a problem on him. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? If you didn't, well, why not send a replay of your own? This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.